produced by Yashraj. Siddharth sir's last film, Hijki, was a big hit. I really liked it. Jaideep sir has such a fantastic understanding of character. Hi, this is Junaid Khan. You're watching me on IWMBuzz.
Probably the most non-starry star kid debut, as people keep terming out to be, and that person is sitting right next to me. Hi everyone, this is Kunal Kothari. You're watching me on IWMBuzz, and the person I mentioned is, of course, none other than Junaid Khan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hi, thank you. Purely the reason I mentioned this is because this is that part actually I mentioned in my review as well. That this is obviously the most non-starry debut as people keep talking about, but in the best way possible. And I say that because, and I have a feeling that you probably did not even mind it that you had this kind of a debut instead of having the whole hullabaloo around it.
Yeah, no, I mean, every film is different, I guess, and I think for what the film is, I think Yashraj and Netflix have positioned it in the best way for the film. So
Right.
That's
But did it ever occur to you, or was it a factor for you? Because I know that you keep talking about how you want to do good films. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter the medium. It doesn't matter the scale of it. But was it still a factor for you?
no. I mean, in the sense that I feel Maharaj is, I mean, it's produced by Yashraj. Siddharth sir's last film, Hijki, was a big hit. I really liked it. Um, I loved the story. I think Sneha and Vipul Bhai have written a fantastic script. It's inherently very dramatic.
Correct.
It's not a niche or an art
Absolutely
film.
not. Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah, I think it's a big film.
For sure. Absolutely. Great. And of course, just as is the case with every film, that be it coming on in theaters or be it coming on OTT, there's always going to be opinions about it. I'm not talking about all the madness that ensued earlier, but I'm talking about the post-release. Of course, everybody has an opinion. They have their reviews. They have their critics. What is the one bit of criticism that you probably came across, not necessarily from a review, but from otherwise, that you felt that yes, this is actually true, and I should have probably taken care about it?
No, lots of things.
Right.
I think it's a see. If making films, acting is not an exact science.
Of course.
And I think there's a lot you can learn from. I think it's meant to evoke different reactions. People are not going to think the same way about
Right.
anything. So I think it's something to always learn from, to understand where people are coming from, why they're feeling that way, so that you can grow in future projects.
Was there something specific that really stood out in terms of a comment or something, some advice about it?
Lots of things, I think. Yeah, lots of things.
Right, good. And again, as I mentioned, and everybody knows what the film went through. It went through before, just at the brink of its release, and everything that happened. So you've obviously talked about, how Aamir sir must, gave his bit of advice earlier. Okay, he must have given his thoughts, okay, what he felt about the film, like the film, did not like the film. But what I'm really interested to know is when this was happening, when there was uncertainty about where if the film is going to release and what's going to happen, was there something he told you that particularly spoke to you, or particularly you felt that okay, I maybe needed that at this point of time?
No, I think at that point, no, he was very supportive, and he said, "Look, it is a sensitively made film. It's a matter of time; it'll come out."
Right, right. And because we talk about how sensitively made the film was, did it never ever occur to you that because we're tackling a subject like this, it might have a kind of, not necessarily the kind of extreme response that the extremeness that happened, but if at all there's going to be something polarizing about it, given the history of, when films about communities are made in the past?
Oh, it is a sensitive, but I trusted Siddharth sir to make the film in a sensitive way, and I think he succeeded in that. I think it's a film that's treated the topic in a way that I don't think would hurt people.
Right.
And I think that's what's most important, right?
Correct, true. And given you have a background in theater, and you've obviously, so many people keep talking about how you've really, you've done so well there. How much has that played a role in terms of you choosing your subjects when it comes to films?
No, I mean, choosing subjects is you do stories that appeal to me,
Right.
people I would want to work with, people I feel will be able to tell the stories well. Yeah, I don't think stage has much to do with choices in film.
Correct. Right. And as Carson, what I found the most intriguing part about him, that the moment he has a motive, to go against, this God man, the self-proclaimed God man, and he has an angst. He has a certain angst now, and he only gets loud maybe towards the monologue part in the court, and maybe one of those instances where he literally is, having, but so much of it was internal as well, right? And I'm always intrigued by actors and their internalization process when you're doing scenes like this, where there's so much to do here instead of just verbally. How did you manage to crack it, or what was your thought process towards that?
Well, I think I had lots of help from Siddharth sir and Sneha, who wrote the dialogue. Sneha, she's also a fantastic actor.
Absolutely.
Has done lots of work on the Gujarati stage.
That's true.
So I think I got a lot of help from there as well. You know, developing the character of Karsan, graphing the scenes. I think they both have a very solid understanding of those things. So that was really helpful.
Right, but is there something specific you follow, that okay, this is because everybody has a good day and a bad day,
Yeah, of course.
on sets, and I think in a film like this even more so because of the scale and everything else was so much going. There's so much going on. So how do you make sure that there is that that there is the continuity that continues even with the portrayal of emotions?
Uh, well, I'm a big believer in rehearsing. So we rehearsed a lot. I mean, rehearsing is not performing;
Of
it's
course.
rehearsing. So, so I think that does help. That a lot of that comes from stage, because for stage, even on a bad day, you have to be at 80%.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's just not going to work
It's
out.
not going to work out. True.
And that comes with, like, knowing your material, knowing what you're
Hmm.
supposed to be doing. So yeah, I think.
Right. True. And of course, we have to talk about Jaideep Palawat because, I mean, why not?
No,
He
no,
is one of the finest out there.
he's
And he
top level.
continues to, just get, better and better in his own sense. When you have someone like that, who, and not just actually, Jaideep sir, I think even with Aamir sir and so many other actors, it's amazing to me, and I think to a lot of them, that in spite they have nothing to prove per se, right? Because they've done so much, they continue to just work on their craft, maybe in a way. What is the one thing that you inculcate from your father, or even for Jaideep sir, I'm purely talking in the terms of seniority, that you feel that what is it about this continuity and what is it about this longevity that appeals, and that's something that I want to have it in me as well?
Jaideep sir has such a fantastic understanding of character, of the graph of scenes. A lot to learn from him. And he was also very instrumental in the graphing of our scenes together.
Of course.
He built those scenes together. And yeah, I think his understanding of character would be something to aspire to.
And when it comes to your father?
Oh, so many things. He's literally good at everything.
That's amazing, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually thought, people keep talking about how, ghar ki murgi dal barabar is a very, common muhavra that's, thrown around, in the sense that, of course, you appreciate, he's Aamir Khan, right? And you obviously appreciate his work. But, people, especially superstars like him, keep talking about how family is always critical about, his performances. Has that been a case for you? Which has been the most critical? Like, you felt that, what have you even done in this film?
No, I don't think. I think there were a few films of his in the 90s that he did that
Of
I'm not
course.
a big fan of.
Right. I don't think he's also
He's
been
probably
very,
not a big fan of them either.
exactly. But yeah,
No, but he's got. I mean, obviously, he's been doing this for like almost 40 years now.
absolutely.
He's got very, very helpful information about everything. You just need
Hmm.
to ask.
True. And people keep talking about access, in terms of, I'm not talking about nepotism because that's a very, done and dusted topic per se, but I do believe access is a very important thing, especially for someone who's starting out, in the films in one way or another. But your access has also been very different, so to speak, from the other, star kids who probably have these, direct, okay, this is happening, that's happening, it's done, you're doing it. How was the process for you? Was it just direct access to something and a script was right in front of you and you liked it and it happened? Or it was one of those things that you took time, the people took associated with the project took time and then it happened?
Well, with Maharaj, I
Hmm.
think moved pretty quickly, but I mean, access is there.
Yeah.
It's like everybody I know, most of the industry socially at least.
Right.
I mean, even if I don't meet them every
Of
day, they
course.
know who I am. I know them. Um, with Maharaj, I mean, I'd been doing stage since 2017. Whenever anybody would call me in to audition or read for a part, I would do that for film work as well.
Hmm.
I think Siddhartha and Adisa had seen a test of mine for another film, and I think based on that, they called me in
Right.
for
Correct.
Maharaj. But it was a film Yashraj was making, and Siddharth was directing it. So they called me in. I really loved the script. So I met Adi sir. I said, I'm game. What would you like? So he said, spend a couple of weeks, prepare, and then I just want to hear the whole first half. Just
Super.
read the first half to me.
True.
And then we did that, and after that we were going,
Rolling.
we were making the film.
You're rolling.
But I mean, Yashraj is the biggest studio, and if they
Absolutely,
want to
of
make
course.
something, they will make it.
They will make it,
Yeah.
definitely. Absolutely true. And again, I keep going back to this that you talk about now whatever projects you have, we'll obviously talk about it, but you have a certain set of projects coming up and you want to be a part of good stories and good films, right? But is there a part of you that you always feel, because like at least for me, like or people who aspire or are actors as well, that they obviously love something more than the other. A person can love a superhero film more than a romantic rom-com, for example. I'm just throwing it out as
Hmm.
an example. So is there something specific that you really relate to, so to speak, and you feel that, okay, I might be really really good at this, and if it happens, great.
No, I think a good story is a good story. I would like to be part of.
But there's no nerd in you who wants to be doing something which is or has a huge canvas. I just don't mean over the top films. I just mean I keep going back to superheroes because there is something like right now I'm sure you must be consuming content as well.
Hmm.
There is so many
Yeah, yeah, of
films and
course,
shows out there.
of
So
course.
everybody has that, okay, what if this is made here, what if this happens here? Is there something like that?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Never.
I don't think so.
Not a film at all, not a film or show at all, which you feel, if you, I don't mean remade per se, but
Huh.
like the world building.
No, there are always such. I mean, there's some great stuff out there from all over the world,
True.
India included.
Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, definitely.
But I think every story has its own space.
Correct. True. Fantastic. Just a couple of things which we round up. What was it about Aamir sir's filmography? I mean, you have your favorite film, you have your not so
Hmm.
favorite film about his filmography, right? But what has been the most peculiar thing for you when you look at his filmography? And is there anything you feel that I will make sure it never really happens to me, or something that happens to me?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think I've really studied his
Studied that much.
filmography in that detail or thought about his filmography in that detail. So yeah, I don't know.
Right. But I'm sure I'm sure fine. You've not studied it, in deeply, so to speak. But I'm sure there are some, because he's your father and he's been a legend throughout the years. There must be something that a thing that you want to inculcate or you want to make sure that I follow it. Not necessarily because he's Aamir Khan, your father, but as an actor himself.
No, as an actor, I think he's open to all kinds of films.
Hmm.
He is a very open-minded person, so he will do a wide variety of films, and I think that's great.
Right, fantastic. And finally, Maharaj is getting, finally getting the love, which I'm sure everybody associated with the project wanted it to get, in, despite of all the, hurdles it went through. What was it? What according to you stands out the most for you? Because you're a viewer as well, apart from being a person who acted in the film. What was the best thing about the film for you, and also something that did not really work for you? It might involve you or not really involve you.
Hmm. No, I really enjoyed the film.
Mm-hmm.
I think we finally, when I saw the film, I think Siddharth sir had made the film that he wanted to make, and told the story that I had liked on hearing it in a lovely way.
Right.
Um, I like that. I did miss a few of the cuts.
That's very interesting because I had this talk with Siddharth sir as well. I had an
Okay.
interview with him, and he's like, "Okay, there were so many things I wanted the film to have, but of course we had the crunch of time, and we want to,
Yeah,
So,
I missed some of the cuts.
is there something specific? Because I'm really intrigued. When because editing is such a difficult process.
No, there are lots of things, but I mean, yeah, I missed some of the cuts.
Surely. Just again, out of curiosity, was it something related to pre the event that happens or post the event that happens? The cuts that you missed.
Both. I think there were some cuts in the court case that I missed. There are some cuts everywhere that I missed.
I'm sure. I'm sure. If at all Netflix puts up an extended cut,
I hope so.
we would be game
In
for
fact,
it.
most of the cuts I missed were actually Jaideep sir's.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That is
he
amazing.
had,
That
he
is
had some
amazing.
stuff in court that was
That was
phenomenal.
phenomenal. And
Yeah.
because he's so subdued himself, he
Yeah.
has this silent assassin kind of a
Yeah,
vibe going
there's
on.
also a scene of his with my father, and the top of that scene is cut,
Right.
which I really missed.
Oh my God, I really want. Please release an extended cut. I'm sure everybody would like to see. Thank you so much, Junaid. Such a pleasure talking to you. Wish you
Thank
all
you
the
for
best for
having me.
everything ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.